African Development Bank approves $500 million loan to Nigeria for economic and energy reforms. Federal government targets internet access for 20 million Nigerians leveraging NICOM-SAT. Oil prices drop on expectations of ceasefire in Ukraine, unlocking Russian supply. Asia-Pacific markets attract Wall Street gains as tech extends rebound. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. Good to have you here at this time. It's time to talk business. I will start by telling you that the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, says the federal government is targeting the provision of internet access for 20 million Nigerians, leveraging the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited, that is the NICOM-SAT. The minister stated this during a public and private sector stakeholders engagement roundtable. The development comes weeks after NICOM-SAT unveiled plans to generate 8 billion naira in revenue within the next 3 years by expanding its broadband services across Nigeria. Now, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has joined the development partners, traditional leaders and policymakers in the call for action on creating sustainable access to energy, agriculture and public health through the adequate management of water resources. This was at the Lokoja Dialogues hosted by the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning.
Itself was birthed out of the confluence of two great African rivers.
Seated in here are members of Nigeria's presidency, the diplomatic community, development partners, heads of ministries, departments and agencies, alongside children, all united by water. The conversation is on the need to connect community-defined challenges to policy, partnership and investment pathways that will drive sustainable water solutions and break the cycle of climate-driven poverty.
This is renewed hope in action, where knowledge meets compassion, policy meets practice, and community meets sustainability.
The situation is very real and urgent. It's time for us to come together to share our values and to fix the broken water cycle.
Effective water management is essential for securing our power supply, lowering energy costs, and enabling continuous industrial and technological progress.
The community level action must be taken. People must be incentivized, mobilized, empowered to make their contribution.
Now the Naira slides in black markets appreciates our official window. How much is the Naira exchanging for other currencies? Let's take a look at the numbers. Now, on the conversation this morning, we have joining us from Japan, a published author, a versatile investor, and a vital bridge between Japan, Nigeria, and Europe. Our guest is the chairman of Kobayashi Group Japan, Kingsley Kobayashi. He joins us to talk about Nigeria, Japan, and the Global South economic relations. This is as we just witnessed the G20 summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, where global leaders, including Nigeria's delegation, put a huge focus on value addition for the Global South, critical minerals governance, and reforming the international financial architecture for inclusive growth. This brings the conversation right to the heart of Japan-Nigeria relationship and the spirit of the G20. Mr. Kobayashi, you're once again welcome to Business Express.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Okay, great. It's evening in Japan. It's morning here in Nigeria. Well, Mr. Kobayashi, my first question is about priorities. With Nigerian families, like many others, are struggling with the cost of living crisis, global inflation, they are looking for policies that deliver immediate and tangible relief. Your government, talking about the government in Japan, however, seems to be prioritizing the long-term goal of cultural preservation through restrictive immigration over reforms to lift wages. How do you justify asking the average Japanese citizen or the Nigerian working in Tokyo, sending remittances home to endure this economic pain for a goal like cultural preservation?
Yeah, I do like the fact that they are trying to preserve their culture and tradition, but it shouldn't be at the expense of the populace. Though the government has put in place $321 billion to give as stipends to the citizens, but I don't think that will help enough. So right now there's a hardship among the populace, the foreign nationals here, and there's a scary atmosphere or a frightening atmosphere as to what it's going to be. But the good thing is that most Nigerians here already regularized their visas. Most of them are married. Most of them have working visas. I don't see that as a big problem. I only see it as a problem for those trying to come in now. So with the economic situation in Japan, things are really tough for everyone here at the moment. But for those of us who are entrepreneurs, we are still okay because we work with other countries, and hopefully the ones working are able to get out of it in a good way. But the thing is that Japan's salaries is still one of the lowest in the developed world. So they're trying to prioritize immigration when they have an aging population. It's actually a problem. So let's hope they're able to let the traditional custom go in a twin way, parallel lines with the economic situation. They really need to work on that.
Okay, in all of this, yes, you painted a picture of a challenge. In Japan, it's an aging population, which is to say there is a need to have younger people coming in, but yet for Nigerians planning to go into Japan is going to be a bit difficult. But looking at that, particularly conversations at the G20, there was a strong commitment to strengthening a multilateral trade and reducing barriers. In light of the call for global stability, what is your take on what is happening in Japan now and the entire tariff regime from the US to Japan and the possible impact on developing economies, particularly when you have limitations in this immigration, talking about not just going into Japan, but also going into the USA is a challenge. What is the way to go?
We need transparency. We need transparency, and we need to be like the G20 said. We need transparency on tariffs. We need transparency on 4 or 5 years time what the tariffs are going to be. Yeah, the U.S. tariffs is good and bad. For the U.S., it's a good thing because they are trying to protect their own economy, and I believe that any country has the right to protect their own economy, but there should be a transparent way, accountable way to do it, and like a country like Nigeria, developing countries, we need to also grow up to the extent that we are not producing. You know, we are not just selling raw materials. And I know Nigeria has grown in that aspect in the past few years. You know, the mining industry, the oil with Dangote and with every other thing, the production. Once you start producing, then you are balancing the external trade. And if we are able to do that, it's very good. Like a country like Japan and other developed countries, Yes, 25%, 15% is a very high tariff. And at the long run, it's going to trickle down to the common man. And this is going to make it very difficult for them to have a living. Because right now, for example, price of butter or ordinary milk has gone up 4 times in Japan. And that is really difficult for the common man. So the whole world has to be able to come to a compromise either through G20, through the World Trade Organizations, to have a planned system where the developed countries and the developing countries have rules and regulations on how to go about this. They need to be more transparent with developing countries.
Okay, great. Now, we also understand Japan is a tourism destination, and tourism actually generates huge revenue for the government. Now, how is the Nigerian community in Japan taking advantage of this? Then again, talking about tourism, you allow people to come in. Now that there's restrictions, people coming in, how would that affect possibly the Nigerian community in terms of boosting diaspora remittances back home?
Yeah. Fortunately, the Nigerian community is well established here. Most Nigerians have their own businesses, whether it's tourism. I also have a tourism company with my wife. Whether it's airline industries, most Nigerians have that. And with the help of the embassy here is also playing a role in helping Nigerians to bring their goods in here, bring their culture in here. Like what happened at the JICA last time. The president was here with his entourage. They were able to showcase what we do, the opportunities in Nigeria. And this is a time where we Africans, not just Nigeria, need to take a step forward in also introducing our culture and tradition to Japan and the Western world. You know, yes, we do have security challenges at the moment, but it's not going to last forever. Once those security challenges are over, we should also showcase to them, even why it's going on. We still have cultural heritage we can showcase to Japan. And honestly, those of us in Japan are doing that. We have local meetings, we have local dancers, cultural groups doing their things here. And the embassy have been very good in trying to coordinate this.
Okay, now, still around that, the Nigeria and other African nations at the G20 strongly advocated for decent work and equitable value creation. What's your opinion about how to tackle the issue of wage stagnation in both Nigeria and Japan? Does the solution actually lie with government, or is it the market forces? More so that you've established the fact that in Japan, Nigerians have established businesses and they are doing well.
Yeah, I think the government and the entrepreneurs have to work together. Okay. Even the people we employ, everybody have to work together. Because up till now, we tend to put everything in the government hands. But we entrepreneurs are closer to the businessmen in Japan or elsewhere in the world. We have to be able to discuss. We have to be able to sell our products. We have to be able to sell anything we have that the government is doing to the other entrepreneurs in the outside world. Take, for example, fintech. Yes, fintech is growing very fast in Nigeria, right? This is because it trickles down from abroad. You know, and CBN has made several regulations to help Nigerians abroad to be able to open accounts in Nigeria, to be able to do business in Nigeria, to be able to repatriate money out of Nigeria abroad. These are the steps that we need. And these steps have been taken by the government of Nigeria. And then the Japan government are also making deals. They're also making contracts with Nigeria. Same with China, same with the other countries in the south. So we are having an improvement in trying to make this trade balance work better. But we still have a long way to go because we don't have a roadmap. We don't have an outlined structure for them to follow. You see, the problem most of them have is that when coming to Nigeria, you send them to this office, you send them to that office and the other office. That is a problem. Whereas when you come to Japan, if they say, go to this office, that office have an answer for you. We should be able to give them answers when they come. People who have money does not have time to waste. If they cannot invest in your country right now, they will invest in a different country that is ready. So we have to have a structure, you know, that it can follow at any given time. And this will apply to every country and every person.
Wow. On a pattern note now, for want of time, which is the way to go. The fact that foreign residents, including many African entrepreneurs and professionals, are also expressing concern over the new immigration framework, though you said, well, businesses have been established. But do you see this easy enough, or you see this getting tougher? And what should Nigerians do for those intending to come in at this time? Briefly.
It's going to get tougher.
Wow.
It's going to get tougher. But the truth is this. Every country have their rules and their regulations. They have their laws. And as long as we are compliant, as long as we follow the rules and regulations, I have been in Japan for over 30 years. And Japan is one country that if you follow their rules, you don't have a problem. In fact, they give you the tools to make it legitimately in this country. That is why I love this country. You know, if they say, go and get this document, it's there. If they say, don't do this, it's like a police state. You know, they are not only strict to us foreigners, they are also strict to themselves. So if you want to be in any country, whether Nigeria, whether Ghana, whether America, you should be ready to follow their rules and regulations. You don't go into any country and break the rules or say, oh, they are too hard on me. No. You want something from them. You should be able to follow their rules and regulations. If you are not able, then go back to your country. I'm sorry to say this, but this is just the way I feel.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
I will go back to Nigeria. It's as simple as that.
It's something not just Nigeria, but any other country should emulate for economic growth, for prosperity. If
foreigners come to Nigeria and they don't follow the rules of Nigeria, they should leave Nigeria. You know, you don't come to Nigeria and dictate for us. It's anywhere in the world.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Kobayashi, for sparing this time to give us insight on a Nigeria-Japan relationship. We're going to be monitoring events closely to see how it goes. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me again.
Great. Moving on, Nigeria's economy is poised for a significant boost as the World Bank signals plans to scale up its investment in the country. This development follows a series of successful interventions that have empowered more than 1,000 beneficiaries, revitalized the agricultural sector, and advanced environmental sustainability efforts. The indication was given during a visit by a high-level delegation from the Washington, D.C., led by Kayab Janin, who was in Gombe State to assess the progress of World Bank-assisted project. Talatu Lamon has the report.
Climatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes, ACRISAL, in Gombe State has over the past 3 years addressed critical challenges, including erosion control, economic stabilization, and agricultural productivity enhancement. The visiting World Bank delegation described these as outstanding performances.
Warm impression, excellent impression to see really both the incomes, but at the same time the preservation, conservation of the livelihoods that we see here.
Community engagement, a key focus of the World Bank's visit, has also been instrumental in driving these successes.
We start being futuristic in thinking and decision making. And in that regard, His Excellency, in collaboration with the World Bank, deemed it fit to start thinking post-ACRISAL.
Led by Dr. Joy Yanga Agini, the visitor held productive talks with state leaders reinforcing the strong partnership. The assessment visit also covered the Shorewash and El Press project with assurances of increased investment opportunities for Nigeria on the horizon. In Gombe, Talatu Lamon.
Can I move to commodities where gold climbs to more than 1 week hike as hopes of Fed rate cut rises? Let's take a look at the commodities market, the numbers this morning. Still talking commodities, oil prices fell on Thursday on expectations of a Ukraine-Russia ceasefire, which could pave the way for the unwinding of Western sanctions against Russian supply, though trading was set to remain thin due to the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. Brent crude futures shed 21 cents to $62.92 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures dropped 21 cents to $58.56 44 cents a barrel. Both contracts settled about 1% higher on Wednesday as investors assessed oversupply risks and prospects of a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Now, the Nigerian Air Force and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited have strengthened partnership to protect critical oil and gas infrastructure in the country. Director of Public Relations at the NAV headquarters, Air Commodore Hemen Ejodame, in a statement stressed that the renewed partnership is vital to Nigeria's economic stability. This commitment was reaffirmed during a visit by the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Kevin Anike, to the NNPC Group Chief Executive Officer Bashir Bayo Julari in Abuja. Air Marshal Anike highlighted the strategic importance of securing pipelines, flow stations, offshore platforms, and other energy installations. He says strengthened protection would enhance productivity, reduce revenue losses, and support national development, noting that the NAV has already made significant progress in curbing oil theft in coordinating with sister services and security agencies. Now, the African Development Bank has approved a $500 million loan to the federal government of Nigeria to fund the second phase of its economic governance and energy transition support program. This initiative is designed to strengthen fiscal policies, drive reforms in the energy sector, and promote climate action. A statement issued by the AFDB Communication and External Relations Department, Alexis Adele, said the Board of Directors approved the loan at a meeting in Abuja covering the 2024 and 2025 fiscal years. To steer Nigeria's young population towards a future driven by technology, sustainability, and economic prosperity, the federal government has launched an electric tricycle and motorcycle empowerment initiative in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports that the initiative is a major stride towards sustainable youth empowerment and green mobility in Nigeria.
Youth unemployment and underemployment is not just peculiar to Nigeria alone, but a global challenge as the world continues to advocate for green jobs. However, this narrative is gradually changing.
Every electric tricycle on our roads is a job created, a pocket enriched, and a cubic meter of carbon spared from our atmosphere.
Now, this initiative is a deliberate step by the federal government to address the triple challenge of youth unemployment, environmental sustainability, and the rising cost of transportation. Through this initiative, government seeks to position youths at the heart of Nigeria's transition to environmentally responsible innovation and economic inclusion. It is hoped that this will in turn generate employment, promote clean energy adoption, and empower young Nigerians, particularly those in the informal transport sector.
The electric tricycles will reduce transportation costs by about 40% and offer a cleaner alternative to tricycles powered by fossil fuels.
We are ready to support, empower, and protect the young people. What we are launching today is a way of giving priority to the youth on the streets.
Meet Justina Atabo, the first female commercial motorcycle rider in Abuja. She is a beneficiary of the initiative and has been in the business for more than 3 years.
As it is today, I'm the first Okada woman in Abuja here. So by the special grace of God, this empowerment has touched my life. And women like me, I urge them to come out, not to stay idle. Let us come out and join the men.
For the umbrella body of the Benefiting Association with more than 18 million registered members across the country, the initiative symbolizes hope.
This is truly a new dawn of Nigerian transport sector.
To the youths, the future is electric and the time to key in is now.
Well, the future is also a woman. Moving on. Asia Pacific markets advanced Thursday after Wall Street gained overnight as the Fed cut hopes rose and the tech stocks also rebounded. Let's see the numbers. Well, this is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube and other social media platforms. Business Express returns on Friday at 3 p.m. Do keep a date with us as you keep thinking and doing business.